Hello Year 6, Miss Rofa here again. Well done, you did it. You've done your second week of home learning. Well done you. It's been fantastic to see all the examples of work that you've been sending in and lovely to see how hard you've all been working at home. I know it's tricky, I know it's difficult working from home. I found it a bit weird, to be honest, not being in school as usual, but we're all making the best out of what is a very strange situation. So well done, keep up the good work. Now the first thing I want to do in today's lesson is to show you some fantastic examples of work that I've seen sent in from all classes this week. Let's take a look.
So I'm going to start with 6R with my class. So well done Ethan B and Esther G for submitting some fantastic work this week. Ethan's been working hard and I can see that he's up-leveled some of those informal text messages from Agent P or between Agent P and Mrs. M. So well done Ethan. Esther has created a fantastically detailed key outlining all the different features of formal letters. So well done. I will be awarding you both dojos for aspiration. In 6P, Alexia's worked really hard on using a colon and bullet points to punctuate a list. Well done, Alexi. And Esme, oh my goodness, she went above and beyond. And before I even talked about writing all the different paragraphs for a letter of application, she completed the whole letter herself. So well done, Esme. In 6M, I'd like to congratulate Harvey E for writing some excellent reasons why he would be a spy. I'm just going to read some of those out now. So, yes, I'm exceptionally good at working undercover and avoiding detection as I have an extensive collection of disguises. Well done. You've used some great up-leveled vocabulary there. I'm sure you used a thesaurus to look up some of those words. So well done, Harvey. And Billy as well used a colon and bullet points to punctuate a list. So he said here, successful spies will benefit from the following qualities: resilient stamina that will help them keep going, an excessive amount of strength that can get them out of any situation, eagle-eyed observation skills to find clues in any situation, and extreme cunning. Well done, you two. Dojo points for you as well for aspiration. And then finally 6G, well done to Erin and Akila for working incredibly hard. I can see Erin has identified the features of a formal letter and she's given her reasons why. Well done. And Akila has also been working very hard on up-leveling the text messages between Agent P and Mrs. M, and she's even used Purple Pen there to self-correct and edit her answers and her spellings. Well done. Dojos for you two as well. Right, so I've just put up those dojos for those children I've shouted out in the lesson, but I'm also going to give a class dojo to every class as well, because you know, those weren't the only examples of work that were sent in. Loads of you have been working very hard and we've had so many emails and so many examples of work sent in. We're all incredibly proud. So well done 6G. There's a group dojo for aspiration. Well done 6M. I'll give you a group dojo for aspiration as well. 6P. Well done everybody. And 6R as well. Well done.
Okay, let's get started on today's lesson then. So the LO for today is to edit and improve a piece of writing. But before we get into that, let's start with our starter task. So as you can see on the screen here, I've got lots of different pictures. I've got a picture of Alex Rider, a picture of the Yellow Pages. Think back to Mrs. Muddyman's reading lesson to remember what the Yellow Pages were. A spy watch, a USB stick that's been disguised as a pack of chewing gum, some spy goggles, and a bike. Now you'll see here next to the picture of Alex Rider that I've got the words noun, adjective, and verb. Can you remember know what these words mean? So a noun is the name of a person, place or thing. If you would like some more revision on nouns and different types of noun, I can advise you to hop on YouTube, type in Noun Town, and this video should come up. The title is Noun Song from Grammaropolis, and it's a really catchy song that helps you revise all the different types of nouns. They've got lots of other grammar videos as well, so it's worth going and take a little look at that. An adjective, you're right, is a describing word, and then a verb is an action word, a word that describes an action, something that you can do. So for all these different nouns, I want you to think of an adjective to describe them. So for example, Alex Rider, I might describe him as being adventurous. Okay, so my adjective is adventurous. I then want to think of a verb. So I want to think of something, an action that he could do. So he might sprint away from baddies. Okay, so the verb to go with Alex Rider could be sprint. Okay, you might have your own different ideas for adjectives and verbs that could match these nouns. Okay, I would like you to pause the video, jot down your ideas, and then join me when you've finished. Okay, welcome back. Now I've put some ideas here. I don't expect you to have the exact same ones because you've got your own individual ideas. So in black I've put the adjectives, and then in red I put the verbs. So like I said, for Alex Rider I put the adjective adventurous, and then the verb is question. So he questions what happened to his uncle at the beginning of the story, doesn't he? He's very curious. So the verb is question. Some of you might be thinking, well, question is a noun as well. Yes, you can ask a question. We've talked about this a lot in our reading lessons. It's very important to be aware of the context in which you're using the word. So if you're reading, read around the word or listen carefully to the context so you know whether the word is a verb or a noun. So in this case, it's a verb. For the bike, I've described it as lightweight. It's an expensive bike, so it's really light. It's not heavy at all. It's easy to pick up. And then race is the verb. Okay, so the bike can race through the city of London. Again, race can also be a noun. So you can take part in a race. Okay, so again, just be aware of the context. The spy goggles, they are expensive. That's my adjective, and the verb is to scan. So you can scan your environment for anything dangerous, for weapons or for undercover agents. And then the yellow pages, Ham just described it as yellow. Okay, if you've done that, I want you to go and up level that adjective, because yes, it is yellow, but you could be specific with the shade of yellow it is. So I've put butter yellow, and then the verb is search. And then for the spy watch, I've described it as high tech, and then the verb is check. And then the undercover USB stick, I've described it as useful, and then the verb to go with it is download. So I can use it to download secret files. Okay, so some of you might be thinking, well, I can't edit my letter yet because we haven't finished. You're right. Before you edit, you need to write your conclusion. So a conclusion, it usually comes at the end of a piece of writing, doesn't it? And it sums up everything you've written so far. But in your letter of application, your conclusion needs to do 3 things. So I've put them nice and big here on the slide in bold because they're important. So the first one is you tell them how to get in touch with you if they've got any questions to ask you. So you might say, oh, you can contact me by calling this number or provide your email address. Then you thank the person reading your letter for taking the time to consider your application, and then you need to remember the formal sign off at the end. So here is a waggle before you get started. So I'll read through and explain why I've underlined some of these features in green. Should you have any questions about my application, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you in advance for taking the time to consider my application. I hope to hear from you soon. Yours sincerely, Miss Rofer. Okay, so in the first sentence here, I've included a modal verb to show, yes, possibility. Okay, so if you have any questions, should you have any questions, okay? So we learned about those in another lesson, didn't we? So it would be very useful if you could include a modal verb. Should you have any questions about my application, please do not hesitate to contact me. So do not, we haven't used contractions there, have we? I haven't put don't because that would be informal, okay? So we haven't used contractions, that's why that's underlined in green. And then thank you in advance. Well, we've ticked off one of the things we need to do in a conclusion. We've thanked the person reading, so that's why that's in green. And I know we haven't talked about this in our lesson so far, but we have in school. So if you remember, that semicolon has been used there instead of a conjunction to join those two main clauses in the sentence. And then finally, we've got a formal sign-off. So I've used yours sincerely because I wrote my letter to Agent P. So I know the name of the person I'm writing to. So that is why I've used yours sincerely and not yours faithfully. Okay, before we go on with the lesson, I would like you to pause the video and write your final paragraph of your letter, your conclusion. Okay, off you go, and I will see you again shortly. Okay, well done for finishing that off. Let's move on with the lesson. So, like I said earlier, the LO for today is to edit and improve a piece of writing. Now, what's the bigger picture? Well, editing is important, not just in writing, in maths, across your topic, and just in real life, okay? We don't always, when we do a piece of work, we don't always write it out perfectly the first time. I know that when I write a shopping list, I often cross things out because I've realised I've made a mistake, or if I'm typing up an email, I rarely send the first thing I write. I always edit and improve what I've written. And the reason I put this picture here of an action board, I think that's what it's called, is that, you know, even in acting, actors and actresses, they don't just take one take, okay, they take several takes. And that's, you know, that's something we like to teach you at French, isn't it? That growth mindset, that even if you don't get it perfectly correct the first time, it's absolutely fine, and we encourage you to go back and improve what you've done. So, key vocabulary for today is edit, improve, proofread, punctuation, and spelling. Okay, so we're going to be working a lot with this today. I've got two checklists to focus on today, but we're going to start with the editing checklist. So, do your sentences begin with capital letters? Have you spelt everything correctly? Does each sentence end with a punctuation mark? So, full stops in the case of this letter. Have you used paragraphs? And is your work neatly presented? So, we're going to have a go now. Well, I'm going to have a go. It's my turn, and I'm going to show you how I would go about editing my piece of writing with this checklist. Okay, so I've started ticking some things off already, as you can see. Where's my pen? I'm going to use, oh, purple pen, lovely. That's what we use in school. Don't worry if you haven't got a purple pen though, any coloured pen is fine. So I've started ticking this off. So I've put my address on the right. I've left a line, included the date. Yeah, I've got beautiful handwriting, set it out neatly. So I've done that. I've got the address of the person I'm sending the letter to there. And if we just go back to this checklist, I'm not concentrating on up-leveling any vocabulary yet. I'm just focusing on punctuation and spellings mainly. Okay, so that's my first focus. So let's read through and see what I can edit. Hi Agent P, I'm writing to find out more about the job of secret agent at MI6. I certainly believe that I would make an excellent international person of mystery. Well, I'm going to stop there because I've spotted I haven't put a capital I there, have I? So I'm going to edit that in. That I would. That doesn't look right, does it? Let me think back to those modal verbs. Oh yes, okay, so it's not W-U-L-D. I need an O, don't I? W-O-U-L-D. Okay, don't forget that when you're checking spellings, you can use a dictionary. There are lots of dictionary apps that you can get if you've got a smartphone or a tablet, or you could even just Google the words for now. Okay, that's fine. I certainly believe that I would make an excellent, do you know what, I'm going to underline that, that doesn't look right, and I'm going to come back to it in a minute. An excellent international person of mystery due to my determined personality. Ah, I've forgotten a full stop at the end. Pop that in there. Okay, to begin. Ah, do you know what, I was so busy thinking about all the features to include in my writing, I've forgotten a capital letter at the start. To begin, oh yeah, comma in the right place. Oh, I've done this again. Capital I would make an ideal candidate because of my burning curiosity about the world, my ability to hide my identity, for example, my friend's fancy dress party. What's wrong here? My friend's fancy dress party. It's the fancy dress party that belonged to my friend, wasn't it? So we need, yes, an apostrophe for possession there. So my friend's fancy dress party, my ability to flee from evil villains at high speed, and my passion. Oh, why have I got a capital P there? That's not a proper noun. My passion, that's just a normal noun. So yeah, small p for cracking cryptic codes. Oh, and I've done it again. I've forgotten a full stop at the end. See, this is what happens when you rush, when you just rush your writing. You make mistakes. Okay, but that's why we go back and edit. I've improved that now. Lovely. So what can I tick off here then? Yes, they begin with capital letters. Have I spelt everything correctly? Well, actually, I need to go. I'm just going to pause the video now because I want to go and check excellent in the dictionary. Okay, right, I'm back. I've looked this up in the dictionary, and do you know what? It's actually one of your Year 5-6 words, so it's very important that I spell this correctly. So E-X-C-E-L-L-E-N-T. It's one of those silent letters, isn't it? That's why it's tricky. So yeah, I can tick that off now. I've spelt everything correctly. Yes, everything ends with a punctuation mark. And have I used paragraphs? Yes. Okay, I've left a line and I've indented my paragraphs as well. Great. Okay, lucky I edited. So now it's your turn. Okay, we're working through the chilies together today, so I want you all to do chili 1. Now you're going to look at your letter. You're going to pause the video, keep this on your screen, and tick off these different bullet points, these different jobs as you complete them. Okay, so do your sentences begin with capital letters? Have you spelt everything correctly? Does each sentence end with a punctuation mark? Have you used paragraphs? And is your work neatly presented? Off you go. Okay, I hope you got on well there. Fantastic. So, moving on to chili 2. So, this time you've got a revising checklist. Now we've done a proofread, we're going to go through and see if I need to up level any words, if I need to use any different conjunctions. So, have I written an interesting introduction? Have I used interesting vocabulary? I'm going to change that to formal vocabulary. Have I used a selection of different connectives, so conjunctions? Have I used complete sentences? And does my conclusion make sense? So let's start going through this now then. So first of all, I spotted this the first time we read through the letter. Hi, Agent P. That's informal, isn't it? So I need to use dear, a formal greeting. I actually thought, I'm writing to find out more. I could up level that to make it a bit more formal, couldn't I? Instead of saying find out more, I could inquire, to ask about. Okay, the job, also job, I think I could up level job. Do you think you could help me out? Have a little look in a thesaurus or Google, see if you can find synonyms for job. Okay, so welcome back. I think I'm going to put position, the position. There we go, of secret agent at MI6. I certainly believe that I would make an excellent international person of mystery due to, there we go, there's my highlighter. Yes, I've used a cause conjunction there, fantastic. Determined, due to my determined personality, I'm going to underline determined because actually that's a Year 5/6 spelling word as well. To begin, I would make an ideal candidate because of, that's another one, isn't it? Another cause conjunction. My burning curiosity about the world. My ability to hide my identity, for example, at my friend's fancy dress party. My ability to flee from evil villains at high speed, and my passion for cracking cryptic codes. Okay. Why have I underlined or highlighted these in green? So yeah, look, I've included semicolons to separate items in a detailed list. I've remembered that before the final item, I put and instead of another semicolon, so that's a good thing. And I've got a hyphen there, high speed, fantastic. What do you think then, Year 6? Is there anything else I need to edit or improve? I know this is the version without the correct punctuation, but we edited that last time, didn't we? Let's see. Have I written an interesting introduction or a formal introduction? Yeah. Have I used formal vocabulary? Yes. A selection of connectives? Oh yeah, I've used due to and because of. Yeah. Complete sentences? Yeah. And my conclusion, well, I haven't written my conclusion yet, but you've written your conclusions at home, so you'll be able to check this one. Okay, moving on. So now it's your turn. Can you have a little look through your letters? And this time, instead of focusing on punctuation, can you focus on the different points in this list? Pause the video, off you go. Okay, welcome back then, Year 6. Now your final Chile 3 challenge is all about these Year 5/6 words. Now they are quite small on the screen here, however, if you type Year 5/6 words into Google, you will find these lists, okay? They will come up, you will be able to find them quite easily, okay? But I am going to go through and highlight some of the ones I've included in my letter, so they will give you some ideas of ones you can include in your writing too. So here I've highlighted, if you can see, some of the words that you would be able to use in your SPY letters. So I've got communicate, government, foreign, excellent, equip, determined, curiosity, identity, individual, language, physical, profession, vehicle, thorough, and recommend. So let's go back. Have I included any of these in my writing? Well, I know I included excellent, didn't I? But I needed to make sure that I'd spelt that correctly. So what I've learned is that there's a C after the X. Determined, that was another one that I'd used. Curiosity and identity. Also, I've actually included quite a lot there. Now, can you look at your letter, have a look at the Year 5-6 spelling word list, and can you look through and make sure that you've included some of those spellings in your work? This is your Tilly 3 challenge. Okay, pause the video, off you go. Okay, so that is the end of your lesson today then, Year 6. I would really appreciate it if you could email in your letters to the Year 6 email address so I can read through them, and maybe your work will be featured in next week's lessons and you'll be able to get some dojos for when we come back to school. Okay, it's been a pleasure teaching you the writing this week, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.